Welcome to another episode of New Friends. I'm Jordana Bryant. On today's episode, I thought it would be fun to talk about my song New Friends, which is obviously the title of the podcast. And with the title, I want it to be like, we're making new friends, because I have guests on and getting to know y'all and hear your questions and your stories. I feel like we're just becoming new friends. But I have a song called New Friends, which is about one of my friends making new friends. How many times am I going to say friends in this episode? Probably like 100. But I know a lot of people have asked the story about that song, and I feel like also a lot of people have been going through like best friend breakups and friendship breakups and feeling like their friends are kind of drifting away. So the story behind this song, I wrote it when I was 16. I think I was in junior year of high school, and I had been best friends with this girl my whole life, and we did everything together. We would hang out all the time, do sleepovers, we would try to get our schedules to have the same classes, and then when I was starting high school, I switched schools, and I felt like we were starting to drift away, but we still tried to stay close. And then I started coming back and forth to Nashville more, and I was really focused on my music. And when I would be back in Pennsylvania, I would try to see her, and I kind of just felt like she, was making new friends, and she wasn't really reciprocating. And in those moments, it's really hard because you don't know, like, is this person genuinely just busy, but they still do want to see me and have a relationship with me? Or is this a sign? Like, is this them trying to, like, hint at, like, oh, no, I could make time, but I don't really want to make time to see you. And then, okay, wait, not to get, like, so dramatic and sad and emo, but I remember one night in junior year, my grandmother had just passed away, and my grandmother was, like, my best friend. I love her so much. She was one of my favorite people, and I remember, like, calling my friend, and she didn't pick up, and I left her a voicemail, and I was like, hey, like, I'm really sad, like, I'm really feeling just crushed, like, can you please come over, like, I really need you. And I remember getting a text back that was like, hey, I have plans with my boyfriend, like, sorry, let's hang soon. And I don't know, it really hit me in that moment that we weren't best friends anymore, and I think I hadn't really accepted it until that moment. Because I get having plans, but when your best friend... Whoops, sorry guys, just ignore that text. Let me mute that. Okay, where were we? Sorry, my other grandmother just texted me. When your best friend has just lost someone and is really going through it, I don't know, I guess I think that you make time. Even if it's a phone call. Even if it's not you going over there and seeing them, even if it's a phone call, you make the time to make sure they're okay. Anyway, so I picked up the guitar and I started writing this song. And I said, I get it. We're 17 and it's a Saturday night. And I get it. I can't compete the party or the lights. I'm not trying to guilt trip you or tell you what you should do. That's not what I want. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I guess I'm just missing what Saturdays were us. That used to be enough. I'm not going to do a poetic interpretation of the whole song, of the whole, all the lyrics. But I wrote that verse, and it literally was like just me writing in my journal what I was feeling. And then I finished the song with 3 other writers who are super talented. But the story after that, we just started drifting apart more and more, and I felt like whenever we would see each other and we would talk about my music stuff, she just would kind of tune out, and I would see her like looking around and like not paying attention, and I would try to be really interested in what was going on in her life, but at the same time it felt like we just had less and less to talk about, and I started posting this song, and it started taking off, and I heard from a different friend that people at school were like, there were rumors that it was about her. And I tried to be like, no, no, no. Like, just so you know, it's not about you. And I did feel really bad because I didn't want the song to hurt her. I just wanted to share it in the hopes that if other people were feeling the same thing, that they would know that they weren't the only ones. And I guess that's the hard thing about songwriting is, like, it's a public thing when you share your music. And I never want to hurt the people that my songs are about. But I also felt like I wasn't saying anything mean. I wasn't saying I was angry at her. I was saying I was sad because I missed my best friend, And so after that song came out, we just kind of started talking less and less. And we still talked a little bit over the next year, but I moved to Nashville after junior year, and so we really didn't talk much more after that. Oh, and you know what? That summer, I remember that she was like going down to the shore, and I was like, what about July 4th? Like, I'm able to take off then? Like, she was like, oh, well, I have other friends coming. I don't think so. Like, what about, this, like, Tuesday, Wednesday? And I was like, weeks are hard for me. Like, I'm writing and stuff. I'm in Nashville. Like, it's hard for me to take off then. But, like, I'm totally down to just join whatever you and your friends have going on. Like, I would actually love to meet your friends. Like, love to meet your boyfriend. And she didn't want me to. And she was like, I don't know, like, I don't think so. And that really hurt, because I think I felt like she was ashamed of me, or didn't want me to, meet her friends, or, like, be part of that group, and I didn't know why. I don't know, maybe she thought I wouldn't fit in with them. Like, I had never been to any parties. I was so focused on my career that, like, I really had never interacted with boys or gone to parties or done anything like that before, and maybe she thought that I wouldn't fit in, but I think I felt that, and that hurt. So I guess that was really kind of when we last talked, and when we kind of stopped talking after that. And then, like, I would text her for her birthday, and the next year she graduated, and I dropped off a graduation gift at her house. She wasn't home, like, but she texted thank you after that, and, didn't text me for my birthday. I think I still texted her this year for her birthday. And, like, she'll always respond, like, thanks, but, like, never ask anything, like, how are you doing, or, like, congrats, I saw that you put out an EP or whatever. And, like, I know that people are busy. I don't expect her to, like, follow along with everything. And now we haven't talked in months. I guess the last time was probably when I texted her for her birthday. But, like, I think I got to the point where I was like, I'm not going to keep reaching out if you don't want to be my friend. Like, if this isn't reciprocal, I'm not going to keep putting myself out there. And as much as that hurts, I think that at a certain point you have to appreciate your time and your friendship, and know that if someone else isn't putting in that equal energy, that, like, they're not the right person to be in your life, and you deserve someone that will put in that energy. And I don't believe that says something bad about someone that they're not putting in that energy, but I think it's a sign that you have to, start moving on, I guess, and looking for a friendship that will fill your cup, And I wish her the best, and I hope that she's doing awesome. I wish that, I guess you can wish that someone had treated you differently, and at the same time not hold any negative feelings towards them, So I guess I wish that she had handled things differently, and that she had been honest of, hey, it's hard to juggle school and college applications and friends and my boyfriend and making time to see you, and hey, I just feel like we don't have a lot to talk about. Like, it's hard for me to relate to what you're doing. Or, like, everyone knows each other here, and I'm just not sure, like, I think it would be a little uncomfortable without you knowing everyone. Like, any of those would have made me feel better than trying to feel like I was interpreting and, like, trying to understand what she wasn't saying, you know? But I think the thing that's hard with friendship breakups is it's not a breakup. Like, a breakup, you know that the relationship's over. You know that you are no longer that person's girlfriend or boyfriend, because you have a conversation. Friendships, it doesn't work that way. You don't often have a conversation. Maybe you have a big fight. I think that most really good friendships, you don't have a big fight. You just start drifting away, and then it's like it's left to you to infer that you're not friends anymore. And that's hard, because sometimes someone is genuinely busy and, like, they're not trying to make you believe that you guys aren't friends anymore. But other times, like, them not responding quickly and waiting a few days to respond and not making an effort to make plans is them saying, hey, I don't really want to be friends anymore. So guys, normalize having conversations. No, I feel like one of the things that I'm most proud of this year that makes me feel so mature is having conversations with people. I really try to be honest about my feelings now, of when I go on a date with someone and, like, I just don't feel the vibe there, instead of ghosting them, which is such an immature behavior, I try to just, like, text and be upfront and be like, hey, I think you're a really awesome person. I just want to be upfront with you. Like, I feel more of a friendship vibe here. But I really appreciate, like, you taking me out and I had a great time and I would love to stay friends. Like, or, like, hey, I've been feeling like you've been pulling away. Like, is everything okay? I did this actually a few months ago, and it didn't work out the way I wanted, but I'm happy with how I handled it. Another close childhood friend, I'd gone to visit her at college, and then afterwards I felt like she was pulling away, and I had that conversation. I brought it up to her and I was like, hey, I feel like you're pulling away. Is everything okay? Did I do something to upset you? Because if I did, I just want to know so we can talk about it and make sure, you know, it doesn't happen again, and, like, we can share what we're feeling. And she was like, no, it's just I'm busy. And I was like, okay, like, I have to believe if you're saying it's nothing, that it's nothing. And so I kept, like, texting her the next few weeks, and I would try to FaceTime her, and usually it would take her a few days to respond to my texts. Usually she wouldn't be able to FaceTime, but she would find a time, you know, over the next week or something to FaceTime for a few minutes, or she would say, like, hey, I'm busy, can I call you, like, tomorrow or whatever? And I was like, okay, like, maybe she is just busy, or like, hey, I'm busy, like, what's up, can we text? And I was like, okay, maybe she is just busy. But then, like, after a certain point, like, you know, weeks going by, months going by, I'm like, wait, what? Like, you don't have any time to talk? Like, everyone has 10 minutes once a week. Like, everyone has 10 minutes in their life once a week. And we were both home for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to see her, and she didn't make time to see me. And she knew I was only going to be home for 2 days for Christmas. I was touring, and then I was going away with my family to the beach for a few days, and I was literally going to be home for 48 hours. And we got home for winter break for Christmas, and I wanted to see her, and she said that, you know, her friend from college was visiting, and I asked if we could still grab coffee. Like, I would, you know, love to join them. I don't care if it's, you know, not one-on-one. And she was like, sorry, I don't think so, like, you know, but have fun, you know, at the beach. And I was like, wow. Because you see this person every day. Like, it was her college roommate. Like, I get that her friend was visiting, but she sees that friend every single day. Like, we only get to see each other a few times a year if we're lucky. And it just felt like she wasn't prioritizing that friendship. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I love this person, but I'm not going to continue putting energy into something that I'm not, you know, someone else isn't putting energy into. So I stopped texting, and I think we texted once, like, while I was away, and then that's it. We haven't talked since. It's May now. That was December. And it really stings, and it really hurts that we don't talk anymore. And I wouldn't call us really friends anymore. I would call us friends because we were friends for our whole lives. But I wouldn't call us friends in the sense that I have any idea what's going on in her life, or she has any idea what's going on in my life, you know? And it does hurt to feel like you're not close with someone anymore, but I guess it would hurt more to feel like I was constantly still reaching out and getting nothing back. And I think when someone, like, doesn't pick up your FaceTimes, doesn't respond to your texts unless you text them twice, like, that says something. And if someone is busy, they're going to say, sorry, I can't talk, but can we talk this time? You know, can we talk tomorrow? Can we talk next week? Like, or just send you a text of like, hey, I just wanted to check in. If someone is reaching out to you a lot, like, even if you are busy, like, I would think, like, hey, I might be busy, but if this person's reaching out, maybe, like, they're going through something. Maybe I need to check in on them. Maybe this is them trying to say that. And, yeah, I guess that I think, like, the moral of the story is have those conversations, because at least if you do, they're not always going to go the way you want, but at least if you do, you'll know where you stand, and you'll feel confident in your decisions and your choices, you know? And I think that on the other side of it, like, I have a friend who I was just talking to last week. We were on a hike, and she was saying that one of her close college friends, she had that conversation with, of, like, her friend got a boyfriend, and she was like, hey, I feel like we haven't seen each other in a while. Like, I'm reaching out all the time, and you're not making time to see me. And her friend was like, and she, like, stopped, like, so my friend, like, stopped reaching out to her, because she was like, I'm not going to keep reaching out. And then that friend, like, reached out to her, and she was like, hey, you're right, I'm so sorry, like, I'm going to do better at prioritizing this relationship. I'm going to do better at making time for us to see each other. And so, like, it can work out in a really positive way of when two people care about a relationship, if you have that conversation, like, you can correct what's going on and make sure each person feels appreciated. And likewise, if you have that conversation and the other person's not in the same headspace, you can know that and move on and focus on putting energy into friendships that do serve you and do make you feel like you matter, you know? So I guess that's my little rant on friendships. I certainly don't have it figured out. It's hard to make friends in a new city. I don't know, like, where people meet friends. I meet friends through, like, songwriting sessions some of the time, but I don't know where to meet people outside of music. I think I'm still working on that, of, like, putting myself out there. I've been trying to go to more workout classes and talk to people at workout classes and stuff like that. But I think that I feel proud of the growth that I've had in communication, because that's something that I struggled with before. And yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. Also, I wanted to, okay, this bracelet keeps, like, dangling and, like, making noise, and it's kind of annoying me, so maybe I won't wear it in the next few episodes. But I wanted to answer some questions because I didn't get to them last episode, and I know I said that, like, you know, put questions, like, DM me questions and I'll answer them. So what are our questions? Do you have a boyfriend? No. Next question. I feel like if you've watched any of the podcast episodes, you know that I don't have a boyfriend. And I never have. Yeah, I have never had a boyfriend. I've gone on, like, I don't know, maybe the most dates I've ever gone on with someone was, like, 4 or 5 dates with someone. So yeah, no boyfriend. Maybe someday. How was your last Hinge date? Okay, truthfully, while I talk about Hinge a lot, I'm bad at putting in the time there, and I also am bad at, like, following through and actually going on a date with someone, because it still kind of feels scary to me, like, meeting someone who you've never met, like, they're a stranger, you know? Like, stranger danger. So I really have gone on only 3 Hinge dates, maybe. The last one that I went on, yes, the date was good. The guy, like, we ended up going on a few dates with each other, but he ended up ghosting me. So it's cool. You know what? I heard that he is no longer in Nashville, that he moved away. So looks like I won. I took the city. No, he did not care whether I was in Nashville or not. Anyway, moral of the story, how's my last Hinge date? It's been a long time, but it was good, but it did not end well. How do you deal with online hate? You know what? That's a great question. I will say that when I was struggling with an eating disorder, seeing comments about my weight and my body really took a toll on me. And I think that when people comment on things that you feel about yourself, insecurities that you already have, it can make it a lot worse. And it can really, it can really hit you in a way that other comments don't. But I heard someone say this once, and I think it's really true. If someone said, ew, you have blue hair, and you don't have blue hair, you would be like, what are you talking about? I don't have blue hair. Like, you're crazy. And I think that's how you have to look at online hate. If someone's like, you have a bad voice, you'd be like, what are you talking about? I don't have a bad voice. Or like, oh, you're fat. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not fat. You know? I think that's how I have started to look at that stuff of like, I need to know in my gut that I am certain things and I'm not certain things. Like, I am a good person, and you saying something can't take that away. And like, I know that I work hard, and that like I've worked hard to become good at certain things, and you saying that I'm not good at those things doesn't take that away or make me any less good at those things, you know? And I also do believe that when people are leaving negative comments, it says so much more about them than it does about you. Because like, think about yourself when you're scrolling online and you see a video pop up that you don't like. What are you going to do? You're just going to scroll away. You're going to be like, nope, not interested. Like, no, I don't think that person has a great voice. Like, I'm going to scroll away. Like, next video. You're not going to take the time to leave hurtful words on that person's post. You're not going to take the time to say something mean to them. So when someone does take the time to say something mean, it says so much more about what's going on in their life. And I try to have empathy for that, of like, God, I hope that this person finds happiness so that they don't feel the need, and self-worth so that they don't feel the need to take other people down so that they feel better about themselves, you know? Obviously that's easier said than done. When you see a comment that talks and like, you know, like, that kind of like, what's the phrase, like, picks at a scab that you have, it is hard to feel empathy for that person, and it is hard to know your worth. And I think that in those moments I just try to remind myself those things, I guess, you know, and remind myself I don't have blue hair. I don't have blue hair. People probably think I'm crazy when I'm looking, scrolling, and I'm like, I don't have blue hair, guys. I don't have blue hair. But that's been my tactic. And I also, you know, it's sometimes like, if you see a negative comment, don't read the whole thing. Like, people will leave paragraphs. I don't know if that's been your experience. Excuse me. People will leave paragraphs, and as soon as you could tell in the first few words that it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be nice, guys. It's not going to be nice. Just scroll away. Don't look. Don't read the whole thing. You don't need to read the whole paragraph. So that's been my tactic. Okay, what were the other questions? I really need to get a screen protector on my phone because I feel like I'm just baiting fate. Guys, I can talk, I promise. This is how you know I'm filming an episode at night, because I can barely talk. It's been a long day. I'm baiting fate without putting a screen protector on, because it's just a matter of time until this thing gets cracked, and it would be so devastating. How old are you? 19. But I'll be 20 this summer, which had me so anxious. I was like, oh my God, wait, I'm going to be 20? That's crazy. But you know what? 20 is still young. 20 is young. Green flags I look for. Someone who's very family-oriented. My family matters so much to me. My mom is like my best friend. My dad is like my role model. My brother I look up to so much. My dog I love. No. So I really care about someone who is proud of their family and loves their family. Faith is also really important to me. Like, my faith is super important to me, and so um, I care that someone else believes in a higher power. I also think that, I don't know, for me, like, little things, like, chivalry matters to me, you know? Growing up in school, surprisingly, the guys were not chivalrous. Like, they would not hold the doors, they would not say, like, yes, ma'am, like, please and thank you, like, those little things. You know, they wouldn't even, one time I was on crutches and we had to sit on the bleachers. These men would not even get up out of their seats. I had to hobble up the bleachers, multiple rows of bleachers, until finally a teacher was like, oh my God, Jordana, like, here, take my seat so you don't have to, like, hobble up more rows of bleachers. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? These boys would not, like, get up out of their seat. Like, that's just polite. I would do that, and I'm not a boy. So chivalry matters to me, like opening my door and little things like that. I also, if we're going out to dinner, like, if we're going on a date, I really love when a guy, like, plans the date, because it says that he's putting in thought and, like, preparation, and he cares about, you know, like, putting an effort to this date. So I love it when someone's like, here, I'm gonna handle it all, just I'll pick you up at 7. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Not like, so what do you want to do, you know? We don't need to go somewhere fancy, just like, I want you to put thought in, you know? um, Green flags. What other green flags do I have? I guess that, like, someone who, like, just says nice things about other people, you know? Like, I think this is kind of a red flag, but anyone who makes fun of other people, that has to be my biggest pet peeve. Someone who says things like belittling someone else, or, like, making fun of someone else, especially making fun of someone else for being excited about something. That has to be my least favorite characteristic in a person, because, like, don't judge someone else, don't make fun of them. Like, I don't know, that drives me crazy. And also someone who's polite to waiters, that's, like, a green flag for me for sure. Like, and someone who asks whoever they're interacting with, how are you doing? Like, whenever I talk to someone, like, I'm going to a cashier, I'm talking to, like, someone who works at a restaurant, I'm, you know, like, whatever it may be, like, getting in an Uber, I always, like, try to make a point of asking, how's your day going? And, like, seeing someone else do that, I really appreciate that, because I think so many people are just, like, you know, distracted by what they have going on in their day, but I think it's really nice to take a few minutes out of your day and, like, make someone feel seen and ask them, you know, like, how's your day going? What are you, like, what have you been up to? You know, stuff like that. So those are some green flags for me. Have you ever had short hair? Ooh. Wait, should I find a photo? Okay, wait, I'm gonna put a photo in this. I'll put a photo, like, in the edit. I did, in fact, have short hair. I used to donate my hair. Every 2 years, I want to say, I would donate it to be made into wigs for women who had breast cancer. And I partnered with, like, Locks of Love was one of the organizations. Pantene had an organization at one point. There were a few of them. My school was doing it, and so that's kind of how I started getting into it. And so, like, every 2 years, I would just grow my hair out for, like, those 2 years, and then I would cut it as short as I could, really. You had to do, like, 12 inches was the minimum, I want to say. So I would, like, donate a foot of hair. So it would go from really long hair to really short hair. Most of the time, like, my hair grew pretty fast, so it would still be, like, shoulder length or a little longer. But right before freshman year of high school, right before I switched schools, I donated my hair, and I didn't have as much hair, hadn't grown as fast, so it was like a bob. I also had just gotten braces, so it was not my best season. Not my cutest, but it happened. But, you know, I loved feeling like I was able to help in a tiny way. And I feel like, for me, my hair is a lot of what makes me feel, like, when I have my hair styled nicely, I feel like that's what makes me feel pretty, you know? And my mom is really good at curling my hair. Like, she did it earlier. It's kind of, the curls have fallen out a little bit, but she's so great at curling my hair, and when she does curl my hair, like, it makes me feel so pretty. And I think that your hair is a big part of you feeling confident. So I loved being able to feel like I was a little part of helping someone get that back and get that confidence back. Next question. How do you write a breakup song without it being hurtful? It's a great question. Well, I've never been in a real relationship, so I can't say about, like, you've been dating this person for years and, like, everyone knows who it's about. I've definitely, like, wrote songs about guys that I've liked before. Most of that's been, like, in the positive, like, I have a crush on this person, and it's kind of like, I'm nervous to post it because I don't want them to know. But recently I've started writing a few songs about guys that I, like, had gone on a few dates with that didn't end well. And, okay, wait, funny story. So I wrote this song called Oh Johnny about this guy, Johnny, who, like, we never really went on any dates, but, like, he just, like, we had been talking a lot, and then every time we would go to make plans, he would only want to hang out really late at night, and, like, he would wait days to respond, or, like, and, like, make sure I saw, like, he would make sure to leave it on scene, so, like, I could see that he saw my message, and then wait hours or days to respond, and he was just playing games, and I was like, oh my god, like, so I wrote the song that was just kind of, like, silly and fun, that's like, oh Johnny, like, wow, I'm done. And then I posted it, and he saw it, and I was so mortified. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna tell everyone I'm crazy, like, we never even went on a date, and I wrote a song about him, and I put his name in it. So that definitely, like, stressed me out, and I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing, but at the same time, it was like, YOLO, you know? Also, I didn't say anything that wasn't true. So I don't know how you write things without, like, being hurtful, other than, like, I would say that I only try to write things that are true. Two, I think my writing style and my personality is, like, I don't really write songs that are necessarily, like, angry or pointing a finger. That's not really my personality. I write songs more that are, like, sad because I'm upset about, like, someone, or, like, I miss them, or I'm hurt, or, like, just fun, like, yeah, like, this could have been awesome, and you lost that chance, like, but not like, I hate you, like, you're horrible, just like, yeah, like, I'm a catch, like, you could have had this and you messed it up, you know, so I guess that, like, try to write things that are true. I've heard people who have put out songs about, like, people that they've dated say that they send them a heads up before they put it out, like, hey, just wanted to share this song with you so you know it's coming out. But I also think that people, when they know they're dating a songwriter, they, you know, you kind of have to expect it. So beware, if you want to date a musician, you'll probably have a song written about you. But, you know, if you want the love song, you got to take the breakup song too with it. Who's the male singer and best friend? Dawson Anderson. He's one of my friends. He's like a big brother to me. I met him when I moved to Nashville, and he has an awesome voice. He was part of a trio back then, but now he's doing his own solo stuff, so yeah. What's your writing process? Ooh, great question. I would say it differs depending on the song, but I am a melody first person. I will be playing on the guitar or the piano and, like, playing chords, and I feel like chords always evoke a certain emotion, and so do melodies, and so I'll just kind of try to, like, lean into that. And I think your subconscious is a really powerful thing, and I try to just lean into that as much as possible when I'm writing. So I kind of will be singing, like, gibberish words and trust that what I'm trying to say will fall out in there, and I'll be singing gibberish, and eventually, like, something will come out, and I'll be like, wait, that would be a cool song. And I'm going through that right now, where I just saw this TV show about that feeling, or my friend just called me about this feeling. And so I try to lean into that as much as possible, and I think that you'll be surprised how what you want to say comes out when you give it the space. So that's kind of how I'll start writing songs. I'm also a chorus first person, which if you don't know music at all, the chorus is like the main hook of a song. So like a Taylor Swift song, can you see that I'm the one who understands you, been here all along, so why can't you see you belong with me? That's the chorus. Or like, we are never ever getting back together. We are never ever getting back together. You go talk to your friends, talk to my friends, talk to me, but we are never ever getting back together. That's a chorus. Sorry, those are only Taylor Swift songs. So if you don't know Taylor, I don't know, I can't help you. But I'll start with the chorus because that's the main part of the song, and then I'll typically write the verse after that. Typically I'll go like chorus, then verse 1, then verse 2, then bridge. I love the bridge of a song. I feel like the bridge is so fun. But it depends. Other times I'll have a title that I really like or a hook. Like if you were drowning, I drain the ocean. I want that to be the hook. Or like broke hearts, break hearts, or like whatever it is, you know. So it kind of depends on the song, but that's kind of how I write songs. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this episode. This has been so fun. I was a little bit worried, honestly, with the solo episodes. I was like, would I have enough to talk about? Just me talking to the camera? But turns out, yes. Turns out I can just talk for hours. But no, seriously, I've been loving doing this podcast. It's been really fun. I hope you've been enjoying it. And please let me know more questions so that I have something to talk about next time. And make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on Instagram for more episodes. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!